Welcome to Small Cause, Big Effect, the podcast, where we explore how tiny decisions create massive transformations. Today, we're diving into one of the most dramatic business pivots in internet history. A story that teaches us fundamental lessons about recognizing when to abandon your original vision to pursue something even bigger. Picture this. It's 2007, and a 24-year-old Yale graduate named Emmett Shear is walking around San Francisco with a webcam attached to his hat, live streaming every moment of his life to the internet. People can watch him eat breakfast, attend meetings, even sleep. It sounds ridiculous now, but this was the cutting edge of what people called lifecasting, the idea that anyone could become their own reality TV show. The platform enabling this experiment was called Justin.tv, named after Shear's co-founder Justin Kan, who had become internet famous for broadcasting his entire life 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The company raised millions in venture capital, attracted hundreds of thousands of users, and was featured in major media outlets as the future of entertainment. But by 2011, Justin.tv was struggling to survive. The lifecasting concept that had seemed so revolutionary was proving impossible to monetize. Users were losing interest. Competitors were emerging with better technology and clearer business models. The company that had once been hailed as innovative was starting to look like a cautionary tale about building products that nobody actually wanted to pay for. That's when Emmett Shear made a decision that would transform not just his company, but an entire industry. Instead of trying to fix Justin.tv's fundamental problems, he decided to focus on the one category of content that was actually working on their platform: people playing video games. This decision would eventually lead to the creation of Twitch, which Amazon acquired for nearly $1 billion just 3 years later. This is a story about recognizing patterns in data that others miss, having the courage to abandon sunk costs, and understanding that sometimes the best business strategy is admitting your original idea was wrong. Let's explore how a failing lifecasting platform became the foundation for the world's largest gaming community. Act 1. The Lifecasting Experiment. When everything is content. To understand how Twitch emerged from Justin.tv near failure, we need to first understand what Justin.tv was trying to achieve and why that original vision proved so problematic. This background will help us recognize the strategic insights that made Twitch's eventual success possible. Justin.tv launched in March 2007 with a concept that seemed perfectly suited to the emerging world of social media and user-generated content. The core idea was democratizing television instead of a few major networks deciding what people could watch. Anyone with a webcam could become a broadcaster, and viewers could choose from thousands of different channels created by ordinary people. Think about the context here. YouTube had proven that people would watch amateur video content, but YouTube was primarily for pre-recorded videos. Social media platforms like Facebook and MySpace were showing that people enjoyed sharing personal updates with friends and strangers. Justin.tv was attempting to combine these trends by enabling live, continuous broadcasting from anyone's webcam. The founding team believed they were solving a real problem in the entertainment industry. Traditional television required enormous capital investments in production, distribution, and marketing. Only people with access to major studios or television networks could reach mass audiences. Justin.tv promised to eliminate these barriers by providing free broadcasting tools and a platform where anyone could build an audience. So, from a technological perspective, Justin.tv was genuinely innovative. Live video streaming over the internet was much more complex in 2007 than it is today. Internet connections were slower and less reliable. Video compression algorithms were less efficient. Most people's computers weren't powerful enough to encode and transmit high-quality video in real time. The Justin.tv team had to solve numerous technical challenges just to make basic functionality work consistently. Initially, the platform attracted significant attention precisely because it was so novel. Justin Kan's continuous livecasting experiment generated media coverage from major outlets like CNN, the New York Times, and TechCrunch. The company raised $8 million in Series A funding from prominent venture capital firms. Early users were creating channels for everything from cooking shows to music performances to travel documentation. But as the initial novelty wore off, fundamental problems with the lifecasting model became apparent. Most people's daily lives simply weren't interesting enough to sustain viewer attention for extended periods. Unlike traditional television programming, which was carefully planned and edited to maintain engagement, lifecasting often involved long stretches of mundane activity that viewers found boring. Act 2. The monetization problem. When innovation meets reality, understanding Justin.tv quotes monetization challenges is crucial for grasping why the eventual pivot to gaming was so strategically important. These challenges illustrate broader principles about platform economics and audience development that apply far beyond streaming media. The first major challenge was advertising. Traditional television advertising worked because networks could guarantee advertisers that specific shows would reach particular demographic groups at predictable times. Advertisers knew that a primetime drama would attract affluent adults aged 25, 54, or that a Saturday morning cartoon would reach children. But on Justin.tv, content was completely unpredictable. A channel might feature interesting discussions one hour and completely inappropriate content the next hour. Advertisers had no way to ensure their brands would appear alongside suitable content, and they couldn't target specific audience segments effectively. This made traditional display advertising much less valuable than on established media platforms. The second challenge was content quality and consistency. Successful entertainment platforms need reliable, engaging content that keeps audiences returning regularly. But most Justin.tv broadcasters were amateurs who lacked the skills, equipment, or commitment necessary to produce consistently entertaining content. Unlike YouTube, where creators could edit and polish videos before publishing, live streaming required immediate performance skills that most people simply didn't possess. This created what economists call a chicken and egg problem. Without high-quality content, Justin.tv couldn't attract large audiences. Without large audiences, the platform couldn't offer valuable advertising opportunities to potential sponsors. Without advertising revenue, Justin.tv couldn't invest in tools and incentives that might help creators improve their content quality. The third challenge was audience fragmentation. Even when individual channels attracted viewers, those audiences were typically very small and focused on specific personalities rather than content categories. This fragmentation made it difficult to build the kind of scale necessary for effective advertising or subscription business models. Traditional media companies solved this problem through programming strategies that guided viewers from one show to another within their networks. But Justin.tv, decentralized model meant that viewers typically watched one specific broadcaster and then left the platform entirely, rather than discovering other content that might interest them. By 2010, these monetization challenges were becoming existential threats to the company's survival. Despite attracting hundreds of thousands of registered users and millions of hours of viewing time, Justin.tv was generating minimal revenue while incurring substantial costs for bandwidth, servers, and content delivery infrastructure. Act 3. Discovering the pattern. When data reveals hidden opportunities. This is where our story takes its crucial turn, and it's important to understand exactly how Emmett Shear and his team discovered the opportunity that would become Twitch. This discovery process illustrates key principles about data analysis, market research, and strategic thinking that are applicable across many different industries. In late 2010, Shear began conducting detailed analysis of Justin.tv, usage patterns, attempting to understand which types of content were actually succeeding on the platform. This wasn't casual observation. It was systematic investigation of viewing data, retention metrics, and user engagement patterns across different content categories. What he discovered was remarkable. While most content categories on Justin.tv showed declining engagement over time, one category was consistently growing: people broadcasting themselves playing video games. gaming streams were attracting larger audiences, keeping viewers engaged for longer periods and generating more repeat viewing than any other type of content on the platform. Let's think about why gaming content was working when other types of content weren't. This analysis will help us understand the strategic insights that made Twitch's success possible. First, gaming provided natural narrative structure that most livecasting lacked. Video games have objectives, challenges, successes, and failures that create dramatic tension and emotional engagement. Viewers could follow along with a gamer's progress, share in their victories, and empathize with their defeats. This gave gaming streams the kind of compelling storytelling that traditional entertainment media had always relied on. Second, gaming content was inherently interactive in ways that most other content wasn't. Viewers could offer advice, suggest strategies, ask questions about game mechanics, and participate in discussions about gaming culture. This interactivity created a sense of community and shared experience that kept viewers engaged and encouraged them to return regularly. Third, gaming streams attracted audiences that were particularly valuable to potential advertisers. Gamers tended to be young, technologically sophisticated, and willing to spend money on gaming-related products and services. Unlike the fragmented audiences that most Justin.tv content attracted, gaming viewers represented a coherent demographic group with shared interests and purchasing behaviors. This moment of recognizing patterns and data that others had missed represents one of the most important skills in business strategy. Shear wasn't just looking at what was popular, he was analyzing why certain content succeeded and whether those success factors could be systematically replicated. If you're finding these insights about data-driven decision-making valuable, make sure you subscribe to Small Cause Big Effect so you don't miss our upcoming episodes about other entrepreneurs who transformed industries by recognizing hidden patterns. Hit that subscribe button now, because what happens next shows how Shear turned this insight into one of the most successful business pivots in internet history. Act 4. The strategic pivot, choosing focus over features. Understanding how Shear executed the pivot from Justin.tv to Twitch provides crucial lessons about strategic decision-making, resource allocation, and market positioning. This wasn't simply a matter of adding gaming features to an existing platform. It required fundamental changes in product design, business model, and company culture. In June 2011, Shear made the decision to launch Twitch as a separate platform focused exclusively on gaming content. This decision required abandoning most of Justin.tv existing user base and revenue sources to concentrate entirely on the gaming market segment that represented a small fraction of the company's current activity. Let's examine why this focus strategy was so important, because it illustrates key principles about platform development and market positioning that apply across many different industries. When you're building a platform that serves multiple different audiences, you typically end up optimizing for the average user rather than any specific user group. Justin.tv interface, features, and algorithms were designed to work reasonably well for livecasters, musicians, talk show hosts, and gamers, but they weren't optimized for any particular use case. By focusing exclusively on gaming, Twitch could design every aspect of the platform specifically for gamers and gaming audiences. The interface could prioritize game titles and genres rather than generic content categories. The streaming technology could be optimized for the visual and audio requirements of different types of games. The community features could be designed around gaming culture and gaming communication patterns. This focus also enabled Twitch to develop specialized features that would have been irrelevant for general audiences but were extremely valuable for gaming communities. For example, Twitch introduced integration with gaming platforms that automatically detected which games streamers were playing and displayed that information to viewers. They developed chat systems optimized for the fast-paced, interactive communication that gaming audiences preferred. They created discovery algorithms that helped viewers find streams based on specific games, skill levels, and streaming styles. Perhaps most importantly, focusing on gaming allowed Twitch to develop a coherent business model that aligned the interests of streamers, viewers, and advertisers. Gaming companies wanted to reach gaming audiences to promote new releases, gaming hardware, and gaming services. This created clear advertising opportunities that were much more valuable than the generic display advertising that Justin.tv had struggled to monetize. The focus strategy also enabled Twitch to build partnerships with game developers, hardware manufacturers, and other companies in the gaming ecosystem. These partnerships provided additional revenue opportunities while also improving the platform's value proposition for both streamers and viewers. Act 5. Building the gaming ecosystem. Creating network effects. Once Twitch established its focus on gaming, the platform began developing what economists call network effects, the phenomenon where a product becomes more valuable as more people use it. Understanding how Twitch created and leveraged these network effects provides important insights about platform economics and sustainable competitive advantages. The first network effect was between streamers and viewers. As more interesting gamers began broadcasting on Twitch, the platform became more attractive to viewers looking for gaming entertainment. As viewer audiences grew larger, streaming on Twitch became more appealing to gamers who wanted to build audiences for their content. This created a positive feedback loop that drove growth in both supply and demand simultaneously. But Twitch went beyond simple supply and demand dynamics by creating multiple interconnected network effects that reinforced each other. Let's examine how these different network effects work together to create sustainable competitive advantages. The second network effect was community formation around specific games and genres. As players of particular games congregated on Twitch, they began forming communities that extended beyond individual streamers. Viewers who were interested in a specific game could discover multiple streamers who played that game, compare different playing styles, and participate in discussions about strategy, updates, and gaming culture. These game-specific communities created value that individual streamers couldn't provide alone. Viewers could get comprehensive coverage of games they cared about. Streamers could tap into existing communities rather than building audiences from scratch. And advertisers could target specific gaming interests with precision that wasn't possible on general-purpose platforms. The third network effect involved content creators beyond just streamers. As Twitch's audience grew, other types of gaming content creators began using the platform. Gaming journalists started hosting talk shows. Game developers began streaming their development processes, and gaming companies started broadcasting official events and announcements. This expanded content ecosystem made Twitch more valuable to viewers while also creating additional monetization opportunities. The fourth network effect was technological. As Twitch attracted larger audiences and more content creators, the company could invest more heavily in streaming infrastructure, content delivery networks, and platform features. These technological improvements made the platform more reliable and feature-rich, which attracted additional users and creators, which generated additional resources for further technological development. By 2013, these network effects had created a situation where competing with Twitch became extremely difficult. Potential competitors would need to simultaneously attract large numbers of streamers and large numbers of viewers, while also developing the technological infrastructure and community features that made Twitch valuable. The more successful Twitch became, the harder it became for competitors to replicate its advantages. Act 6. The Amazon acquisition. When strategic value meets financial value. Amazon's acquisition of Twitch for $970 million in 2014 represents one of the most strategically insightful deals in recent tech history. Understanding Amazon's rationale for this acquisition helps us recognize how platform businesses create value that extends far beyond their immediate revenue streams. To understand why Amazon was willing to pay nearly $1 billion for a company that was generating relatively modest revenue, we need to think about how Twitch fit into Amazon's broader strategic objectives. This wasn't simply a financial investment, it was a strategic acquisition that addressed several of Amazon's long-term competitive challenges. First, Twitch gave Amazon access to one of the most engaged and rapidly growing demographics on the internet. Gaming audiences were young, technologically sophisticated, and increasingly willing to spend money on digital entertainment and gaming-related products. These users represented future customers for Amazon's cloud services, digital media offerings, and e-commerce platform. Second, Twitch provided Amazon with expertise and infrastructure in live video streaming that was becoming strategically important across multiple business areas. Amazon was developing its own video streaming service to compete with Netflix, and it was building cloud computing services that many companies were using for video processing and distribution. Twitch's technological capabilities and engineering talent were valuable assets that Amazon could leverage across its entire technology platform. Third, Twitch offered Amazon an entry point into the gaming industry that was becoming increasingly important as entertainment moved toward digital distribution. Gaming was evolving from a niche hobby to a mainstream entertainment category that was attracting massive audiences and generating billions in revenue. By acquiring Twitch, Amazon positioned itself as a major player in gaming without having to develop gaming expertise internally. But perhaps most importantly, Twitch represented a new model for audience engagement that Amazon could apply to other areas of its business. Twitch had demonstrated that live, interactive content could create stronger emotional connections between audiences and content creators than traditional pre-recorded media. This insight was relevant for Amazon's retail business, where live product demonstrations and interactive shopping experiences could potentially increase customer engagement and sales. The acquisition also provided Amazon with valuable data about consumer behavior, gaming trends, and digital entertainment preferences. This data could inform product development decisions across Amazon's entire portfolio of services, from game development to cloud computing to retail merchandising. This acquisition perfectly illustrates how platform businesses create value that extends far beyond their immediate markets. Amazon wasn't just buying Twitch's current revenue stream, they were buying access to audiences, technology, expertise, and strategic positioning that would benefit multiple parts of their business for years to come. If you're finding these insights about platform economics and strategic acquisitions valuable, make sure you subscribe to Small Cause Big Effect and share this episode with anyone who's curious about how companies build sustainable competitive advantages. Because what we're going to discuss next, it shows how Twitch continued evolving after the acquisition to become even more valuable than Amazon originally anticipated. Act 7. Post-acquisition growth. Scaling success. Twitch's growth trajectory after Amazon's acquisition demonstrates how strategic resources and patient capital can accelerate platform development in ways that weren't possible as an independent company. Examining this growth phase provides insights about how large tech companies can successfully integrate acquisitions while preserving the innovative culture that made those acquisitions valuable. It's worth noting that Justin.tv didn't disappear immediately when Twitch launched. The original platform continued operating alongside Twitch for several years, serving its existing non-gaming communities. However, as Twitch's success became undeniable, Justin.tv was officially shut down in 2014, just before Amazon completed the Twitch acquisition. This timeline illustrates how thoroughly gaming content had eclipsed the original lifecasting concept. Under Amazon's ownership, Twitch expanded far beyond its original focus on gaming live streams to become a comprehensive entertainment platform. The company added support for just chatting streams, creative content, music, and educational programming. This expansion was possible because Amazon provided the financial resources and technological infrastructure necessary to support multiple content categories simultaneously. But this expansion was strategically different from Justin.tv's original approach to multiple content categories. Instead of trying to be everything to everyone, Twitch maintained its core identity as a gaming-focused platform, while carefully adding adjacent content types that appealed to similar audiences and could leverage existing community structures. The key insight here is that successful platform expansion requires understanding which new features strengthen your core value proposition versus which features dilute your focus. Twitch's expansion into creative content and educational programming worked because these content types attracted similar audiences and benefited from the same interactive, community-driven features that made gaming streams successful. Amazon also invested heavily in Twitch's monetization infrastructure. developing multiple revenue streams that benefited both the platform and content creators. The subscription system allowed viewers to directly support their favorite streamers while gaining access to exclusive features and content. The bits system provided a way for viewers to make small financial contributions during streams, creating real-time feedback between audiences and creators. Perhaps most importantly, Amazon developed Twitch Prime, which bundled Twitch benefits with Amazon Prime memberships. This integration created synergies between Amazon's retail business and Twitch's content platform, while also providing Twitch streamers with larger potential audiences and more reliable revenue streams. These monetization improvements addressed one of the fundamental challenges that had plagued Justin.tv, the difficulty of creating sustainable income streams for content creators. By 2020, thousands of Twitch streamers were earning significant income from their broadcasts, which attracted more high-quality creators to the platform and improved content quality for viewers. The post-acquisition period also saw Twitch expand internationally and develop localized content for different regional markets. This global expansion was facilitated by Amazon's existing international infrastructure and expertise in managing multi-regional technology platforms. Act 8. Lessons in Strategic Transformation. What Emmett Shear's journey teaches us. As we analyze Emmett Shear's journey from Justin.tv, his struggles to Twitch's massive success, several crucial lessons emerge about strategic thinking, market analysis, and business transformation that apply far beyond the entertainment and technology industries. The first lesson concerns the importance of data-driven decision-making over intuition-based strategy. Shear didn't pivot to gaming because he personally preferred gaming content, or because gaming seemed trendy. He made the decision based on systematic analysis of user engagement data that revealed patterns other people had missed. This analytical approach to strategy is particularly important when you're dealing with rapidly changing markets where conventional wisdom may be outdated. The second lesson involves understanding the difference between features and platforms. Justin.tv failed partly because it tried to be a general-purpose platform that offered generic streaming features to multiple different audiences. Twitch succeeded by focusing on one specific audience and building specialized features that created unique value for that audience. This focus strategy enabled network effects and competitive advantages that wouldn't have been possible with a more general approach. The third lesson concerns timing and market readiness. The gaming industry was experiencing rapid growth during the period when Twitch was developing, with new games, new platforms, and new audiences creating opportunities for innovative distribution models. Shear's success came partly from recognizing that gaming culture was evolving in ways that created demand for community-oriented entertainment experiences. However, it's important to understand that this timing wasn't just lucky coincidence. Shear positioned his company to benefit from industry trends by focusing on sustainable engagement patterns rather than short-term popularity. Gaming streams worked because they created genuine value for both creators and audiences, not because they were temporarily fashionable. The fourth lesson relates to the economics of platform businesses and network effects. Successful platforms create situations where multiple different groups benefit from participating in the same ecosystem. Twitch aligned the interests of streamers, viewers, advertisers, and game developers in ways that made the platform more valuable as it grew larger. Understanding how to create and leverage these alignment opportunities is crucial for anyone building platform-based businesses. The fifth lesson concerns the relationship between focus and expansion. Twitch's successful expansion after the Amazon acquisition was possible because the company had first established a strong position in gaming before attempting to serve adjacent markets. This sequential approach to market development is often more effective than trying to serve multiple markets simultaneously from the beginning. These lessons about strategic transformation, platform economics, and data-driven decision-making apply to so many industries beyond entertainment and technology. Whether you're running a small business, working in a large corporation, or just trying to understand how digital transformation happens, Emmett Shear's story provides a masterclass in recognizing hidden opportunities and having the courage to pursue them. If you're getting value from these deep dives into how strategic thinking creates massive business transformations, make sure you're subscribed to Small Cause Big Effect. Hit that notification bell too, because next week we're exploring another story of someone who turned apparent failure into unprecedented success by recognizing patterns that everyone else missed. Conclusion: the legacy of a strategic pivot. Today, Twitch processes over 15 billion hours of content viewing annually and has fundamentally changed how people think about entertainment, community building, and creator economics. The platform that emerged from Justin.tv, quote, near failure, has become the dominant force in gaming entertainment and a major influence on broader media industry trends. But the numbers only tell part of the story. Twitch's greater impact lies in demonstrating that audiences were hungry for interactive, community-driven entertainment experiences that traditional media wasn't providing. The platform proved that people would spend significant time watching other people play games, participate in chat discussions, and build relationships with content creators and fellow viewers. This validation of interactive entertainment has influenced product development across the entire media industry. Traditional television networks now incorporate live streaming and social media integration into their programming. Video game companies design their products with streaming and community features from the beginning. Social media platforms have added live video capabilities to compete with Twitch's engagement model. Emmett Shear's journey from failed lifecasting to gaming revolution illustrates something fundamental about innovation in rapidly changing markets. Success often comes not from having perfect initial ideas, but from having the analytical skills to recognize when those ideas aren't working and the strategic flexibility to pursue better opportunities when they emerge. The transformation from Justin.tv to Twitch happened because Shear was willing to abandon sunk costs and pivot toward market opportunities that data revealed, but conventional wisdom ignored. This willingness to change direction based on evidence rather than ego is one of the most valuable skills in business strategy, yet it's also one of the most difficult to develop and execute. Shear's story also demonstrates the importance of understanding your market at a granular level. The insights that led to Twitch's success came from detailed analysis of user behavior patterns, rather than high-level industry trends or competitor strategies. This granular understanding enabled strategic decisions that competitors couldn't easily replicate because they were based on proprietary data and deep market knowledge. Perhaps most importantly, the Twitch story shows how focusing on creating genuine value for specific communities can lead to much larger opportunities than trying to appeal to everyone simultaneously. By solving real problems for gaming audiences, Twitch built a platform that eventually became valuable to much broader entertainment markets. The gaming industry that Twitch helped transform continues evolving rapidly, with new platforms, new technologies, and new audience behaviors creating additional opportunities for innovation. But the fundamental principles that drove Twitch's success, understanding your users deeply, creating genuine community value, and building platforms that benefit multiple stakeholders, remain as relevant as ever. For anyone building products, services, or businesses in our connected world, Emmett Shear's journey provides a practical framework for strategic thinking. Look for patterns in data that others miss. Focus on creating real value for specific communities rather than generic value for general audiences. Be willing to abandon strategies that aren't working, even if you've invested significant time and resources in them. And remember that the most successful pivots often involve doubling down on what's already working rather than inventing entirely new approaches. That's it for today's episode of Small Cause Big Effect. The next time you encounter data that contradicts your assumptions or reveals unexpected patterns, remember Emmett Shear's approach to strategic analysis. Sometimes the best opportunities hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with the analytical skills to recognize them and the strategic courage to pursue them. Until next time, keep analyzing the data that others ignore. Keep focusing on communities that others overlook. And remember, in rapidly changing markets, the ability to recognize and act on new patterns often matters more than the brilliance of your original plan.